Well, salutations again, dear viewers. We're back with more Gundam. It has been quite a while since I got back to this. I never intended this series to be aired in its entirety in one go. I've been playing it more for my own amusement and just recording it as a matter of course. However, to keep the aired content varied, because we have a lot of duplicate routes coming up, I need to mix things up. Part of that, however, means unlocking the past routes for all the characters. Now, at this time of recording, you all will not have seen a majority of the Axis route, and there's a bunch of AUG past sections to be done, but I haven't even touched the Titans, and there's a reason for that, because I have to play as Jerid fucking Mesa. But needs must, so here we go. My controller completely packed up, so now I'm using another one that's not as good, so let's hope that doesn't really mess me up here. Like, the pad's fine. Triggers are fine, it's just that this, actually, I shouldn't say the pad's fine. The, analog's fine, it's the D-pad that's a little weird. Like, diagonals can be extremely touchy. So we're playing, again, I mean, if you've watched the previous videos, you'll know that these start technically near the end of the story, and then loop back around for the plot. So we're in Jerid Mesa's final mobile suit, the Bound Dock, which does look weird. Your eyes do not deceive you. Maybe I just need to break the D-pad in a little. We'll see. How did that not connect? God, the attack radius of this thing is a joke. And now the plot's going to spool about how Jerid Mesa's tragic death, not tragic, he deserved to die, the asshole. You know what this guy did within the first 5 episodes? He killed Camille's mother. I could offer more context for that, but do you need to know more? He just straight up killed the man's mother. Besides, all the Titans are pretty much assholes. Like, Zeon had a reason for doing what they were doing. The Titans were just ladder-climbing pricks. And Jerid right here, while not the most influential of the ladder-climbing pricks, he was one of the most whiny, dickish, you know... His survival to the end of the series was purely an act of contrivance because people were willing to die for him. God knows why. Yes, we're running the Hyzak, which is a Zaku, honestly, on steroids. I mean, it's just a chonkier Zaku. It's a thick boy Zaku is what it is.
Lieutenant Jerid Mesa, heading out. You're not gonna strike first?
Once again, the audio from the gameplay end is going to be super muted because I can't actually mute the music and a bunch of it's licensed. Not that that's a huge concern as a channel that is not monetized in the slightest, but still. Yeah, the Hyzak is just, it's a chunky Zaku. Not a bad look, it's just... why? And why did nobody find it suspicious when an anti-Zeon organization decided to make their standard mobile suit a design based off of a Zeon design?
You guys are antiques now.
Come on. For real? Ah. Now we got some named characters coming into the fray.
All right, let's go.
That's probably the Gundam Mark II behind me. I can't even hit him. So I'm guessing these no-name Rick Diaz are meant to represent probably Apoli and Roberto.
Let's do it.
Ah, there's Camille and the Gundam Mark II.
An enemy? You're finished.
It's not even my aim, because it's all auto-aim, it's just that this mobile suit is so bottom of the barrel that the, like, gentle auto-tracking this game does to actually hit moving targets, that doesn't apply with this mobile suit, so it just doesn't hit anything. Unless you're right on top of it. Oh god. Microgravity maneuvering in this game, I think I've already expressed that it's a little weird. Because, like, I'm not moving right now, and yet the station, as you can tell, is panning to my right. Why is it moving? Am I moving? I mean, in space, it's all relative. Well, I suppose, as far as physics are concerned, everything's relative. It's just that gravity helps to smooth things out a bit. Now, I could rock it if Lila was not just in my face here. There we go. Ah, the Gym Mark II. The AUG's first mass production mobile suit. Technically, it was also the Federation standard at the time. The Titans had the Hyzak, though, because it had a higher performance, because the Zaku outperforms the Gym. Fuck you, Fetty boys. Delilah dies. Now, we're given no opportunity to change that outcome from Jerid's route. We have that opportunity from Lila's route, but we're going to stick with Jerid's first because we usually start with the canon route. Now, I don't even think we get to play Emma until we unlock some alternate timelines, because, yep, straight over to AUG she goes. Yes, at this point, honestly, I remember this being like halfway through the series. We're running Marasais now, which are basically Gelgoogs on steroids. Again, the Titans were an anti-Zeon organization, allegedly. Their true purpose was far more devious. They're an anti-Zeon organization whose entire mobile suit roster, for the most part, is derived from Zeon designs.
That's why I'm saying it was a chance. You have a point there.
Kakarkan, can you not go right up my bumper? Yeah? Hey-ya! Oh, now you're shooting me, Kakarkan. Yeah, well, you'll burn up in the atmosphere, so screw you. Oh. Oh, okay, so he can hit that, but I can't. Oh. Yeah, you can only stun lock an enemy with this beam rifle used by the Marasai if you land all 3 hits, which is pretty shit. Yes, this is where Kakarkan... Because the Gundam here is not depicted as having its, like, re-entry surfboard thing. Yes, that was a thing. But yeah, Kakarkan passed too close to the Gundam, going too offensive, and just, like... He burned up in the atmosphere. You know, it's weird to me that a lot of science fiction just sort of does re-entry without any sort of merit for it. Like, the whole reason that things burn up on re-entry is a matter of velocity and friction. To be orbital, one has to be moving very quickly because you're not outside of the gravity well. You're still in the gravity well, but free of the atmosphere, you can move very fast without having to expend continuous effort. And so the planet curves away from you because of your forward velocity as quickly as you're pulled towards it. So you're falling in orbit. You're falling towards the planet, but the nature of how the forces physically level out, you end up going in a continuous circle. That's an orbit. The thing is, you're traveling at an incredible velocity, especially if you're going from one planet to another. And when you penetrate the atmosphere, you're still traveling at that velocity, but now friction is a thing. The air is trying to stop you, and that friction generates heat, and you get re-entry. The thing is, for starters, a planet without an atmosphere would not create re-entry because what is there to generate friction? In addition, let's consider the fact that... oh, hang on. Let's consider planets with gravitational fields that are weaker than Earth, because if you're dropping from an orbit of one of those worlds, you're not going to experience the same deceleration, because you're not going as fast to begin with. So a planet like Mars with like less than half of Earth's gravity, if you, say, took off from Mars and achieved a stable orbit, re-entering from there would not be as energetic. There's also a lot less atmosphere, so there's that. But, I mean, strictly speaking, if you were to just arrest your momentum, like hit the thrusters and stop at a specific point over a planet, you would descend to the planet's surface, and you would do so without re-entering the atmosphere, or should I say, without the re-entry burn. Because that burn is there because you're being decelerated, and if you're not decelerating, there's no burn. But again, a lot of science fiction just sort of like, oh, it's entering the atmosphere, it has to light on fire, because that's what people expect. When that's not the case. I don't know why I went on a re-entry rant in the middle of a Gundam game. I don't know, it's kind of late, I'm feeling a little tired, this is not going to be A-level material. Not that anything I do is A-level material. I was fighting alongside a gun cannon? In Xeon colors, which is weird. But it's because the Xeon faction is sort of bundled with the, villains. And so their resprays are the same as the Titans. It's weird. It's weird. I'm fighting with a green gun cannon. And we now have the Gapflay, a transformable mobile suit. And we have to protect Mawar. I don't know why in the series, she died protecting Jerid. Why am I looking after her? I mean, honestly, like... Lila, not so much, but Mawar died protecting Jerid. How did Sarah die? I don't remember. I think that more so involved Shirako and Haman Karn. It's been a while since I've seen Zeta Gundam. Like, back when Gundam was celebrating, I think, its 20th anniversary, because they're past their 30th anniversary now, god. Back when Gundam was celebrating its 20th, like, they had all the series, well, the main series, not like Turn A or Mobile Fighter G Gundam. They had all the main series, like Gundam Wing, Gundam Seed, the originals, like Gundam and Zeta Gundam. They had them all in Crunchyroll, and I watched them. And it was actually the first time I'd seen the original and Zeta Gundam and so forth. And... because the thing is, I had played this game and Federation vs. Xeon Deluxe long before I saw the anime, and my enthusiasm for it kind of came from the fact that I'm a bit of a mechanics nut, and so the mecha genre is a nice fit for me. I mean, Armored Core 2 was an interesting game. I felt that it was not terribly well polished, even though people to this day rate Armored Core 2 above Armored Core 3, which I personally find to be actually insane. Armored Core 3 was just better. I'm sorry. It just was. And then the franchise kind of went a bit weird with the whole 4 and then 4 answer and all that next nonsense instead of, I mean, it's still called Armored Core, but now we're piloting a machine called a Next. It's like, well, why is it still Armored Core? And then 5 comes out, and I'm feeling a bit like they're kind of ripping off a bit of Front Mission here in terms of aesthetic. Well, actually, no, in terms of aesthetic, I'd say they're ripping off BattleTech. And they're ripping off Front Mission in terms of, like, the whole tactical mech combat thing. I mean, I suppose you could also lay that at the feet of BattleTech, because that would not be inaccurate. Yeah, the special route is not eligible here, I don't think. Yeah, the Gabflay is just a weird machine. It kind of looks like a bug, especially when it's transformed. It's not a transformation intended for atmospheric, like, performance at all. It's a transformation intended specifically for space maneuvering improvements. That's what it's intended for. Alright, in order to pressure the space noids, carry out a poison gas attack on side 2. So we have to protect the G3 canisters, which means that recover is less effective. We need assault.
Lieutenant Jerid heading out.
Gotta love that translation. Victory condition. Remove 8 G3 canisters. Would an exfiltrate be more accurate? I mean, you could even say evacuate, but remove? Yeah, I just want to go forward, D-pad. Can you work with me here?
Accept their surrender. This war will never end unless we show everybody what can happen to them if they decide to defy the Titans. This goes far beyond a single colony.
However,
I mean, the Titans' logic here. Hello, we have randomly selected you to be made an example of. That we're going to kill all of you so that the colonies won't rebel against us. This is as bad as that Operation Cinder bullshit in Star Wars. It's like, congratulations, Imperial Loyalist world, you've been selected to be annihilated just so that we can show the whole galaxy how badass we are, that we'll kill our own people. I mean, oh god. The recent writing for the Empire has just made them too stupid to live. Oh no, you get away from those gas canisters with that big gun of yours. Oh, his shield absorbed that one. Honestly, his shield is tough, but if you hit it enough, it breaks, and then he can't transform because his shield is part of his alt mode, so he can't actually do anything. Somebody's picking on the canisters. Owie! I have assault mode. You know what? You've asked for it. You're gonna get it. Where are you running? I didn't say you could leave. Ultimately, this attack failed because I think Emma, like, blew the shit out of the canisters before they could dump the poison into the colony. You have to remember that, like, a poison gas attack in a space colony is especially devastating because all the air is encased in a container, which means if you put poison in there, it's not going to dissipate or go anywhere because there's nowhere for it to go. Now, you would imagine colonies would have filters or something that would be designed to protect against that sort of thing, but I mean, you're not exactly expecting somebody to float up to your colony and drop a poisonous gas canister on the outside, are you? Recover.
Leave it to me.
The Psycho Gundam Mark II. I question the translation in the actual anime when they call it the MK2. It's like, it's clearly supposed to be Mark II. Why do they keep calling it MK2? This ain't Mortal Kombat. The AI can be a little dense in this game, which is fine because you usually have to deal with several of them by yourself, and the hero machines are given completely broken stats where you can lean in on them for a solid 5 minutes and they're still not dead. Man, the Earth is out there a bit.
It's no surprise that you're in my way. Luck is on my
Oh, great. We got him and Emma. Owie. Emma, you hold still now. You're easier to kill because you're not in the Zeta Gundam. Oh, come on.
I said I'd protect you, Jerid.
Yeah, she dies here. That's just a given. So Emma's leaving because she's had enough. My god, a main weapon hit doesn't even stun Camille. That's how, like, OP they've made him for this mission. And Mauer's dead. Oh, what?
I said I'd protect
The
you,
attack
Jerid.
didn't chain.
Why you always? I don't want to die either.
You're not gonna die, Camille. You're in one of the hero machines. It's important to remember that the Gundam franchise came out in a time when most, like, mecha things were super robots that were, like, you know, oh, Voltron, stuff like that. Even though it's not Voltron in Japan, it's something else that I don't know what it's called. So Voltron, like Go Gaigar, Mazinger Z, all that kind of wacky Japanese stuff. Basically, instead of superheroes, they had super robots. Is he getting added durability now that he... Yeah. Yeah, when they got the yellow crosshair, they basically have invincibility frames. Attacks just pass right through them. It's done to prevent stun locking. You can still stun lock easily in this game, though. I mean, all the Gundam fans praise stuff like extreme versus full boost and all that, and it's like those games would not have existed were it not for these early, more narrow installments instead of like stuff intended specifically to cater to several generations of Gundam fandom.
All right, I'm returning now.
Yeah, I suppose I'm talking about everything other than what's going on because I just hate playing as Jerid. I don't like him as a character. He had no redeeming qualities as far as I was concerned. God, the Byaland. Like, this thing in this game is kind of a piece of shit because it's slow. It's just really slow. I'm literally just already dumping a level up into it because of how crap it is. So, we have to protect our friendly battle gauge, so Recover serves not just us, but it'll help our allies have a little bit more staying power.
You're not gonna gonna strike first?
I mean, in addition to having to play Jerid, I'm not a huge fan of the Titan mobile suit selection, if I'm telling the truth.
Stop! Think about what you're doing! You're not well!
Wow, that didn't connect at all. Like, you want a good example of stun locking? Right here. I mean, I can just keep doing this. Oh, you finally got one in. Good for you.
I'm here! Open your cockpit! You have to get out of the Psycho Gundam! Hurry! Die, Camille!
Well, it seems like they all want a piece of me now. But he's going to try evacuating at some point. If I can keep him stun locked. I mean, Zeta Gundam will knock a big chunk off of their reinforcement gauge. Because it's an expensive mobile suit. There we go. Oh my god, that was more than half. You want yours, Quattro? I got it right here. You want it? To stun lock you into oblivion. Well, I would if I didn't get team shot by the Psycho Gundam. Fuck's sakes, 4. Piss off. Yep, killed both hero machines. Just stun locking. Oh, yep.
All right,
I find it funny that I talk about how shit the Byalant is and then immediately just own with the damn thing. Oh. Trust me, you'll see how crap it is later. Don't worry. You will notice the shit. It's hard to miss. No, the gym mobile suit was always a piece of shit. I mean, we haven't run the missions where we actually use a one-year war gym, but yeah, no, they're footfalls, because they do walk, they don't hover like all this grips conflict stuff. Their footfalls sound like somebody walking with trash cans, with their legs inside of trash cans. Like the old aluminum, like, trash cans. Yeah, the Byalant has this hovering thing, which you also get with the Bound Dock when it's transformed and the Gaza Sea when it's transformed. But, like, how does this slow hover help? I mean, its firepower is lacking. It's not super agile. And I know for anybody who saw, like Gundam Unicorn, you got to see the Byalant kick ass. Two things to note. First of all, that was a custom Byalant that had its performance boosted. And second, it was being piloted by, like, an ace pilot, a really good one, who got a lot more introduction in the actual graphic novel than in the anime they did. Like, in the anime, he just isn't even really mentioned. We just see the Byalant fly out of a hangar and start owning Xeon remnants. Honestly, the Byalant was like a prototype. I think the one he was piloting was actually like a repaired version of the one that Jerid himself used. Because the design lore was that they were trying to create something with the maneuverability of a transformable mobile suit that didn't have to, like, actually morph, because Gundam, opting for realism, had the mindset of transformation's a bit impractical, yeah? I mean, a bunch of toys do it because it's cool, and it is. You know, the intricacy of the engineering, all that business. But at the end of the day, transforming is incredibly impractical. Oh, that was quick. I mean, when we did this mission as the AU, we had to, like, wait for the timer to run down. Here, it's just kill enough of them that it ends, and we have.
All right, I'm returning now.
As much as I hate the Bjarlan's performance in this game, I do like the way it looks. It's weird, but I like the weird look it has going on. The kind of, like, monkey, wide chest, the Harambe thing it's got going on. Oh, this shit, yeah. This is what'll test the Bjarlan.
Leave it to me.
We have to deplete the battle gauge in a set amount of time. And if we don't... Now, it should be fine here, especially because we upgraded it, but when we start exploring the alternate character timelines, this will suck. Because here we can just, like, one-shot them. Or at least the Nemos. We can one-shot the Nemos. And the gyms. Rick Diaz is a bit tougher. Oh, come on. I could have finished him in that shot if he didn't stun him before me.
You guys are antiques. You guys are antiques now. Did I do it? Here's another one. Here's another one.
The follow-up hit didn't connect. There we go. Yeah, I talk about how shit the Bjarlan is. I must be remembering the later timeline missions where it actually gets a bit rough. Because it does. Don't worry, it will. I will be made to suffer for all of your amusement. Engage the Argama. We're actually running out of missions here. Engage the Argama's... Argama. The Argama... Whatever... Pursuit Force.
Lieutenant Jerid heading out.
Why don't we get the Hyper Mega Cannon multiplayer in this game? Japan, where's my gigantic BFG, huh?
Here's another one. You're finished. Yeah.
He came out of invincibility just as the shot connects. That's what separates the pros from the noobs in this game. Oh, great. Camille will be involved this time around. That's the problem with playing the villains, is that you end up going up against the heroes in their god-tier S-rank super machines. And you gotta somehow survive. Oh, I guess this is where we kill Opoly. Oh, there's Opoly. Prepare to be destroyed. Yeah, this is where he's supposed to die. Kaboom!
All right, I'm returning now.
You know, Bjarlan, by not looking bad, you're making me look bad. We get the Bound Arc right before the final mission. I'm gonna just... Yeah, because this thing's kind of a big target, which is not fantastic.
Lieutenant Jerid heading out.
The thing's skirt armor, which is basically just its lower body, makes it look like a flying space egg. Especially when you activate the transformation. So, right now I'm a mobile suit. Now I'm a space egg. God, I'm just hitting forward and it keeps giving, like, lateral inputs. I hate this D-pad with a passion. But I'm stuck with it because the controller I normally use decided to just... The analog stick decided, oh, I'm going to be going left constantly now. I hope you're ready for that bullshit. So I rip the entire thing apart, pull the stick off, you know, all the emulative measures I can do without having to resort to some hot solder and swapping out the freaking micro components. And I have it working for a second, but during the disassembly process, because this controller was not designed to be reassembled easily, during the reassembly, the damn thing's developed a new problem. Instead of constantly going to the left, it wants to constantly go down. And at least before, if I got the controller's analog stick into just the right spot, in like a little offset to the left, but otherwise centered, the stick would not provide input. And in a game like this, where you can basically get by without the stick, it was perfectly serviceable. Now, it's providing a constant down input, and that, no matter what I do, will not correct. It's just constantly trying to go down. It's not the first controller I've ripped apart to try repair efforts either. I'm actually quite skilled at it. But not the, like, you know, scuff tech whatever S-tier MLG controllers, like the old standby type stuff. Ow. Okay, for real? Get out of here, no name. Oh, did he just Toho his ass through my entire volley? I think that's what just happened.
All right, I'm returning now.
I think the thing that puts a lot of people off the Bound Dock is its asymmetry, because it is a very asymmetric design. Oh, Jerid's dead. Oh no, because we're playing him, he survives, but the Titans have been defeated. And he's lost everything and everyone. Well, fuck him. What did he have? Like, could Mauer even be considered his girlfriend? I don't know. She was obsessed with him. He's sort of like a mini Shirako, some weird mimetic sex god bullshit. So Jerid alive, but the Titans have been annihilated. Oh no! Not the Titans being annihilated. Well, for me it'll be a continuous experience, but for you, next time, Lila and Mauer, just to get Jerid's, like, special routes done.